Hey guys, what's up? It's Julian. I'm back again. Day 2 of making a full lo-fi house track with some vocals, start to finish. Today we're just going to add some elements to sort of finish off the track composition-wise, and just make it a little bit more interesting there. As well as I'm going to show you some more things you can do to make your tracks a bit more interesting. So, let's dive in. So, as you can see already, if you're familiar with the project file I gave out the other day, I've extended the 2 drops to be twice as long. That's not a huge deal, I just did it because it just didn't sound right to me. It didn't sound like they played out for long enough, so I've just extended them to be twice as long. Now the first element we are going to add to make this a bit more interesting is we're going to add some more percussion loops. And the way I'm going to do this is using a 707. Now what a 707 is I'm using the stock Ableton one, and you'll have all these samples in the included zip folder that I have in the description. But what a 707 is it's this old Roland drum machine from the 80s, I believe. And it's been used a lot in house music, but it really gives you that kind of like older house type of feel because of obviously the way it's been used. So we're just going to draw in this little loop. It's just a pretty simple kind of like offbeat syncopated hi-hats loop. And then on the last one we're going to add this rim shot. So that on its own is going to sound like this. So a little bit weird, but you'll see when it goes with the whole track. Now we're just going to copy this to the outro, and then we're going to put an offbeat ride here in this one. And this ride symbol... whoops. This ride symbol is pretty popular in like house and techno as well. It's one of those samples that has been used a lot, but it's kind of just become part of the vernacular, I suppose, for the style of music. I'm also going to put it in this little build here, and then we'll have it cut out there. So that sounds like this. Okay, great. So we just need to go and add this groove in here. That is the one that I have on all the bass line, because it's going to make it swing and make it fit the track a little bit more as well, and sort of go with the groove that we've already established. So that in the track sounds like this now. I'm going to turn it down a little bit. So as you can hear, it's kind of missing something. It doesn't really sound like it's part of the same world as the rest of the track. So to combat this, what we're going to do is we're going to put on a low-pass filter, which I set about there. I'll change that in a second and we'll dial it in properly. And then this a bit warmer saturator. And I know the saturator is going to make the rim be a little bit too loud, so I'm going to turn that down, and we're going to pitch that down a little bit as well. Great. So now this all sounds like this. Perfect. So we've got this 707 in here. It's sounding a bit more lo-fi. You can mess with it more. I'm going to have this project file, of course, and all the samples in the description. But I'm just going to do it like that for now. Maybe we'll change that when we go to mix this track. So anyway, the other element I want to add here is what's called a 303. A 303 is actually another old Roland synth that has been used quite a bit in house music. And what it does is it was basically originally intended to be like a bassline simulator, like to sound like a bass guitar. It doesn't really sound like that, but it was used quite a bit in house music for its kind of like very mechanical and like robotic sounding type of feel. And it has like a very unique sound with the filter, but you can recreate that with the Ableton analog. So I've just dragged in this MIDI clip that I've made, which has these, the key thing here is these staccato 16th notes, and then these little glides up and down the octave. And I've just dragged in this analog, just the default preset, which sounds like this. So, pretty straightforward. I've just turned off the release completely and put the sustain and decay up to there. I'm going to turn off oscillator 2, so we just have one saw oscillator going. And then I'm going to turn on the glide, and this is a big part of the sound. We just turn on the glide and then set the amount of voices, which means how many notes you can play at once, to mono, so just one. And that'll sound like this. So that isn't really there, but it's got the characteristics we needed to have as of now. So the last thing to making this sound is the filter. So all you gotta do is turn the resonance up a bunch to maybe like there, and then turn the frequency down, let's say like there for now. And then we're going to set this sustain and decay to here on the filter envelope, which you can just edit this in. As soon as you click this filter tab, it'll come up. And there we go, we've got a 303 sound. Now a little trick here, because we're going to be automating this to give it some movement, and that's the key to the 303 sound, is that you have to automate the filter frequency, and sometimes the resonance as well throughout the track, just to keep it moving and keep it interesting, since it's really just playing the same pattern the whole time through. What we're going to do is I just mapped it to this macro, and we're going to click this mapping tab, and when you do that, you can set the minimum and maximum of like how far on this it can go. So we're just going to mess with this maximum here and set it to maybe like there is what I found when I was playing with this. Okay, so about there is good. And now we can, this knob, you can just turn it all the way up and down and you get that cool 303 filter sweep, because some of these higher positions start to just sound like a saw wave and you don't really get that 303 sound. But the purpose of this is that since we're going to be automating this, now instead of having to automate like a very certain sweep of this knob, we can just automate this one all the way up and down. So let's start drawing in some automation, and you can hear it like in the track. And you kind of just want to automate it to go like up and down completely, and just sort of randomly. I mean, the thing is that this sound was really like done originally by like actually having the hardware in front of you and turning the knob. But obviously we're not really trying to do that here, so I have automated it like this. And yeah, the last thing that we need to put on this to finish it is we just need to put on a bit warmer for some lo-fi kind of like distortion and grittiness, and then a little bit of a low pass filter, just like with the 707. I'm gonna play that in the track, and you'll see what that does to it. It just helps the whole lo-fi thing come out a lot more. So that's pretty much that. I'm gonna have this project file in the description, and you'll be able to go and mess with it and all these samples and stuff and the presets and the MIDI. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Part 3 is coming in a few days. We're gonna mix and master this track and get it ready to play out at clubs and just in general listening. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something. Like, subscribe, share, comment, and all of that. And yeah, peace.